It's our last day in Peru. Not even like our last day because we're not doing anything. We're leaving today. But our flight is it's 8 o'clock right now. We leave at, I think it's at the same time as yesterday, like 1:20, 1:25, around there. But I have to repack all my stuff once again. But I thought it'd be fun while I'm packing to share a little reflection on the whole trip. So I made some questions for myself this morning. So we'll see how good I can actually answer these. But I'm gonna be doing these while I'm packing, so bear with me. But the first question is, what surprised you the most about Peru? So here's the thing. Before I go on any trip, I honestly do so much research. I watch so many videos. I read different blog posts. Like, I get obsessed with the place that I already know so much about it. This trip, I did not even have the time to become pre-obsessed with this place, with the whole country, with all the places that we were going, because of how much planning we had to do. And it was just a lot. So I feel like it was more of like planning, make sure we had the right transportation, make sure we had the right tickets, make sure we were prepared for all of that. So I did not look at anything beforehand. So that's the first thing I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to start organizing my stuff as I do that. Oh, what surprised me the most? Honestly, one of the first things I would say would be the people. Every time I go on a trip, you never know, what the locals are going to be like. You never know if they're actually going to be happy that you're here, or if they're going to be nice, if they're going to be welcoming. And that was one thing. These people are so, so nice, very welcoming. When we were in Chinchero, that was like the first example of like, oh my God, these people are so nice. Where's my voice? We also like stumbled upon this area because we were supposed to be going to the market, but then our Uber driver drove past the area we were supposed to go to. So we ended up, in this like random shop and area, and Anna went to the bathroom, and it was just me and this little boy. And he seemed a bit like nervous, I would say. I don't know if he was scared, but he was just like, Mama, like people are here, Mama. And when his mom came down, huge smile, gave me a hug, asked me what my name was, didn't know anything about me, right? We didn't have a reservation to come in, just very nice, very welcoming. She's like, oh, take a seat. Like, I'm gonna get everything set up for you if you guys wanna like look around. So she was taking all the plastic stuff off of their items and stuff. That was like one of the examples of like someone that was just like really, really nice. And I feel like any type of people that we came across that were the local people, just extremely nice people. Something else that surprised me, I think, was the land. Like I said, I did not do too much research like I usually do. I was very surprised how, you got the beach over here, you got the desert over here, you have just amazing greenery, especially like in Cusco. Like when we left Cusco, tears were shed once again, because that is just such a beautiful sight, seeing Machu Picchu, and just like, it literally doesn't seem real, as I've been saying the whole time. But it was like a little bit of everything. Anna's mom called one time and she was like, oh, what are some differences from like Colombia and Peru? Colombia, well, I was in Medellin, which is a lot more like a city, but also very much more jungle vibes, I like to say. Where here it was, it depends on where we were, because obviously Lima is a lot more like city vibes, but you also have the ocean. But then we were also in like a desert oasis, so it was so secluded, and I don't think I realized like everything that we were doing and how different each part was. So if you're definitely coming to Peru, I definitely recommend exploring more than just Lima and Cusco, because it each has its own, experience, I guess. And there's so many different activities and different things that you can do in those places. So, definitely go a little bit outside of Lima and Cusco and see what else there is in Peru. 1 in 5 deserts that meets the ocean. So, I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, the more you know, fun facts. But I thought that was pretty cool. So I wasn't expecting so much, so I guess I would say that. Oh, what did I learn about myself on the trip? I learned that my body doesn't handle different altitudes and elevation, I would say. But that's just, you can't really do much about that. You can only hope that it's not gonna be too bad for you. Oh, I did learn that I'm still pretty adventurous with things and getting out of my comfort zone, because many people did ask me before I went on this trip, like, oh, are you gonna try guinea pig? Are you gonna do this? And I was like, no, who do you think I am? I'm not gonna eat a guinea pig. Catch me 4 days in, I'm eating a guinea pig. Like, pretty adventurous, I would say. I like to try new things on each trip. And I guess for this trip, it was the food. Yeah, I did try guinea pig and alpaca on this trip. And if you would have asked me that before the trip, I literally would have been like, that's so gross. Why would you do that? I would never do that. Here we are. So, what place had the most emotional impact on you and why? Yo, you guys should already know this answer because seeing Machu Picchu for the first time, still starstruck. There were also tears shed as soon as they saw Machu Picchu, like walking up and fully just seeing it, and it's like, wow, like we made it. Machu Picchu was just absolutely stunning, beautiful, very, very impressed by the skill that they had to create this without having the technology that we have today. Like, I'm telling you, people are lazy these days. Like, no one would ever be able to do something like that and create a place like that because it's just like, when you look at it really up close and you see all the stones put together, even like our tour guide at the end, you could see how at first the stones were like fitting perfectly together. And then when the Spanish were conquering, you know, and they were coming in, they didn't know if they had to, well, they didn't know if they were going to stop by, to say it in a nice way. But they started to hurry up in their process of the hidden city. It was never hidden. So you can see the sped up process. You can see the projects that they were still working on that they never got to finish. So I thought that was extremely interesting, but how everything just fit together and there was a place for everything. And it was just incredibly beautiful with the view. I don't know, I was just thoroughly impressed, and I still think that I peaked for my first seventh wonder. So once again, if you guys have, you know, a comparison or something that you're like, no, you need to go see this seventh wonder of the world because it's gonna blow your mind even more than Machu Picchu, let me know. I don't know if that, I don't know. I may have outdone myself on this trip, but I obviously want to get to the other seventh wonders of the world. But man, Machu Picchu was just absolutely insane, and there's so much history behind it. And I still cannot believe that the guy that found it, I mean, I know everything was kind of buried under and stuff, and there was a bunch of stuff on top of it, so you actually couldn't see the full hidden city. But it's like, dude, you found the gold already. You already found the huge place. It's like he was there and then he decided to leave. I said this when I was walking out of Machu Picchu, but sometimes the biggest gift will always be in front of your face and you never even know it. Oh man, like you discovered Machu Picchu and you're just like, I'm gonna keep exploring. And if you're in Peru and you don't go to Machu Picchu, what are you doing? Yes, there's a lot more to Peru than just Machu Picchu, but why would you not go? I'm confused by that still. So who knows? Also, I'm very happy that I did while I'm young, which Anna and I were talking about. That is something very hard to do if you're older and not as mobile, I guess. Just like walking. I was just nervous watching some of the older people, you know, walking, and it's a lot to cover as well. I did not realize how long our tour was gonna be because we did have the other circuit to do. And by the time we finished circuit 2 that we paid for the day before, I was like, oh, we don't got time. If we do the other circuit, we are gonna be stranded in Machu Picchu. Imagine. Amazing, amazing place, amazing time. And that is something that I would go back to, and I would like to experience that with some other people as well. But I also like to hit other things on my list. So I won't be coming back to Peru doing Machu Picchu anytime soon, but maybe before my legs give out, I would maybe like to come back and do it again and I don't know, maybe get like a whole new perspective on it. But we did have the most beautiful day for Machu Picchu and I'm still so grateful for that. With the sun coming through, the day before it was a little foggy and like misty, I could see lots of clouds everywhere. So when we had like, it was a little cloudy in the beginning, but I'm like, the sun's coming through, I can see it. Extremely, extremely grateful, so yeah. Now we're gonna move on to location-specific thoughts. What made each location special or unique? Highlights of Lima, Paracas, Huacachina, Cusco, and Aguas Calientes. Cool, okay. Let me see, these 10 days are everywhere in my head. Everything's meshed together at this point. I'll start with Lima since we're here now. We did not spend too much time in Lima. Lima was very much our like base spot, I would say, because we flew into Lima on the first day. We ended up coming back to Lima after a 3-day trip from Paracas, Huacachina, and Nazca. So that last day we came back to Lima. Once again, we slept here, woke up the next day, headed out, and we went to Cusco. And we are now currently in Lima, but once again, we came back to Lima, we had dinner, we slept in as much as we can. It's 8 o'clock. And now we're leaving to go back to Chicago. So, but I will say, come to Lima for the food, man. I only had Japanese food in Lima, but Lima is a huge spot for foodies, for a lot of cuisines. That's one thing I knew about Lima, that the food here is really, really good. So if you're a foodie, a travel foodie, stop by in Lima still, because they still have a lot of good food to try. The place that we were at yesterday, I was, maybe I was just really hungry, but I was blown away by everything that I ate. I was impressed, I don't know. Yeah, definitely come to Lima if you're very into food. You want to try some of the Nikkei experience, Nikkei, once again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. A nice fusion of Peruvian food and Japanese food together. Try it out. Highlight of Paracas. I still think for Paracas, my highlight of that was the Golden Shadows trek that we did. Hiking a sand dune, I guess you could call it. Not too bad, honestly. Like, I was like, this is actually really cool. I love any good sunset spot. So if I have a view for a nice sunset, I'm already gonna be super impressed by it. So I would probably say that was maybe my favorite part. I did enjoy the boat tour that we did because we got to see penguins and what do we see? Penguins, sea lions? Did we see? Yeah, penguins, sea lions, different birds. We saw some crabs. That's all from my memory. I will say I was exhausted when we were on that boat tour. My eyes were like slowly closing, and as the boat was rocking, to me, I was like, I'm at peace right now. This is so peaceful. But yeah, I would say the Golden Shadows trek was an amazing spot and experience. So that was my highlight of Paracas. Okay, next, Huacachina. Y'all already know sandboarding experience and the dune buggying. If I'm comparing the two though, dune buggying was maybe even more fun than sandboarding. I think I expected the sandboarding to be more like a skateboard, like we were standing up, not on our stomach. I don't think I'm skilled enough to have been standing up anyways. So probably good that I was not and I was just laying on my stomach. But just the dune buggying, that whole experience is just so much fun. And then also for me, Huacachina, just like our tour group that we were with was honestly so fun. If you stayed at the same hostel as us for that night, our group made that night at the hostel. We were so fun. Shout out to those Polish people buying shots for everyone because oh my gosh, people were going crazy. But yeah, no, Huacachina, the vibes were just really fun. The people that we were with. Highlights of Cusco. I liked the way that Cusco looked. I liked how much more native it was. Another one of the things when I was telling Anna about like the difference of like Colombia, or I once again only went to Medellin. I feel like Medellin has a lot of areas that are very like gentrified, and just like the restaurants that they have, especially in Poblado, very, very gentrified in my opinion. So it just felt a lot more traditional and native over here. The people, the outfit. I love when people still stick to their cultures, and it's really hard when you have like a new generation coming up and trying to pass stuff down to your kids. Maybe they don't care to do this work and stuff like that. So, sorry, I'm trying to look where I'm at. Okay, we're doing pretty good. The food also was really good in Cusco. The only time the food wasn't good, by the way, was in Huacachina, but that's because that is a desert oasis, so, not many options that you can get, so that's when I wasn't eating as good, but once again, the options were very slim for that. Highlights of Aguas Calientes. The food. I'm gonna say the food over there. The food was so good. Okay, so the hotel that we were staying at, we got breakfast and dinner included, which was super nice. We stayed at the El Mapi Hotel. Very nice hotel. The meals that were included, I was like, whoa, this is actually like really good because you never know when meals are included, the quality that's gonna be. A lot of quinoa dishes, especially in Aguas Calientes that I noticed. Try it out. I was like a little wary about it. I was like, what is a quinoa soup gonna taste like? It's good. That's what it tastes like. So definitely try it out. But the trout that I had, yeah, that was 2 days ago. The trout with the quinoa risotto and the chimichurri sauce on top. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, so good. one of my favorite meals that I had. Also in Aguas Calientes, it was a lot bigger than I was expecting, but there was a lot of stuff to do in Aguas Calientes. So we ended up staying there for 2 nights. It also has like a market area where you can get a bunch of souvenirs. But I will say, practice your bargaining skills, because the lady that we went to get all this type of stuff, her prices were so much better. And also she was showing us how she literally was making the items. Where when you're in these markets, you're like, is this even like the best quality of stuff, you know what I mean? And like, how much are you really selling it for? Like, yeah, definitely had a lot of markets to go to if you're looking for souvenirs, a lot of different food spots, and it was really, really beautiful as well over there. So definitely recommend to spend a little bit of time in Aguas Calientes. This is once again the village that is near Machu Picchu. I would say those are the highlights of all the spots, at least for me. Which place would you love to go back to and why? I would love to go back to Machu Picchu just to see it again, because being in such like a present moment with it, I don't know, I feel like with some traveling things, it just feels like a dream, honestly. And looking back on it, I'm like, oh my God, that was so fun. That was amazing. But it's also like, do I even remember it? Or is I just such awe like moment and just so present that like, I don't even know. I want to experience it again to have that same feeling, because that was crazy. And then also when you go back to something or somewhere, you also learn something new or you notice something new. So I feel like that would be fun to see, like what new things that I noticed. Advice for future travelers that are going to Peru. I'm gonna do a very brief section on this because I want to do a whole video on this. If I would replan this trip because of the issues you were having with our Machu Picchu tickets, I maybe would start with the Machu Picchu tickets. Just make sure you have that secured, so you're not worrying about if you can get tickets or overpaying for tickets, because the people that resell Machu Picchu tickets are definitely overcharging. The circuit 3 that we were supposed to do that we didn't end up doing, because we ended up getting extra tickets for the circuit that we wanted to do, which was circuit 2. We paid, I don't remember how much. I feel like it was like $300 or $400, I wanna say, for 2 tickets to go to Machu Picchu. That was like the reseller that I'm talking about. That was a little pricey. And then also I was just nervous that we literally booked everything really well for the whole entire trip, but then we didn't have tickets to Machu Picchu. I was literally about to be like, wait. When I tell you, I was waking up in the morning reading like a text from Anna, and I was like, wait, we didn't get the tickets again. My mom helped us get one of the tickets for them to not even have the option that we paid for. Why are you selling tickets if it's not even an option? The time that we wanted and the day that why is it online then? I'm gonna do a video on that. I need to figure out which company. They didn't scam us because we got our money back, but I would be wary of a couple companies doing good on the packing, by the way. But yeah, I would maybe buy the Machu Picchu tickets first and build your trip around that. If you're solo traveling, it's a lot easier to do that because you only have to worry about like one schedule. But obviously Anna and I have 2 very different jobs and very different schedules. She's literally a nighttime nurse, so she'd be working 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. God bless. If it's just you, you can just kind of, you know, do it on the fly. You can plan your days as you're going throughout your trip. But when you're with someone else, you have to figure out what days you want to miss. Like for me, since I'm a server, I did not want to miss more than 1 weekend, because that is literally my main pay days. Like the days I'll make the most money will be on the weekend. So if I miss 2 weekends, for me, that I'm like, I can't do that. So we were trying to base it around like the dates of like, oh, I don't want to miss 2 weekends. Do we want to do like 10 days? Do we want to do like closer to 2 weeks? Like, I don't know. I would figure that part out too. But maybe figure out your schedule first and lay everything out. Then get your Machu Picchu tickets, your Inca Rail or Peru Rail tickets to get the train and the bus there. Do not use a third party for that. I was reading some horror stories online. So that's just one thing I would start with. Some more advice, I definitely recommend doing the Peru Hop experience trip. I don't know. They have a lot of different days that you can do. We just did the 3-day one, but there's so many different options on their website. I kind of want to do a review of them as well. So I may just do a separate video on that. I did really like it, and I loved our guide, Julio. Miss you. Yeah, I think we were able to do so much because we went with Peru Hop and they already had the transportation included. So I definitely recommend to do that, even if it's just for the 3-day trip. I really liked our experience with it. And I was just talking to someone at the airport yesterday on everything that we did, and she was like, oh my gosh, that's so much. She's like, I thought we did a lot, but you guys did a lot. We did a lot because of Peru Hop. Okay, any must do or skip it moments, everything that we did, do it, okay? But if you don't do Peru Hop, I think you could miss out on Paracas. That definitely wasn't like the biggest highlight of my trip. So I would maybe skip out on Paracas. I really just liked Huacachina for the sandboarding and the dune buggying, but you probably could find another spot to do it in as well. But like, I thought it was great in Huacachina. So I would just maybe skip out on Paracas. That's like the only one. But if you're able to go and you have enough time, I would, once again, I would explore more than just Cusco and Lima. How has this trip changed your view of the world or of yourself? It's a hard one. I'm gonna give a very generic answer. There's a TikTok trend where people are like, I forgot that this is what life's all about, and it's just showing different moments of life. Every time I travel, I'm like, are my problems even that big? There's so much in the world to see. There's so many cool things to experience, and just seeing Machu Picchu, you know, trying new things, if it was food, activity. Life is honestly a lot more simple than it comes out to be. I feel like we make life very hard, and every time I just have a new experience. I meet different people, I make new connections, I try new things. I'm like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing in life. And this was a very different trip than what I'm used to. I feel like I started a lot with my traveling with a lot of like European, you know, cities and European destinations, but I also lived in Europe at the time, so like, why would I not, right? Also, I'm a very big fan of the beach, so I love a nice beach vacation. So I was a little bit nervous. I didn't know how much walking and hiking, trekking, all that stuff. I was like a little bit nervous. I was like, am I even gonna like some of the things that we're doing? I've never really experienced stuff like this, and probably opened up my mind to try other trips that I maybe not have thought about of myself liking, but like, you never know if you like something until you try it out. So I feel like this was a perfect example of that. Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna go on like a hiking trip, because once again, I don't really hike, but I don't know, get out of my comfort zone a little bit more with the types of trips that I'm taking, maybe connecting with more people. I know people in South America get very close, and they are very, I could say very like inviting and welcoming, and it feels very homey and very comfortable. And so I feel like my two experiences of being in South America, it's very easy to connect with the people. I don't know, I love when people are excited to share their culture with others and not make you feel bad about traveling somewhere. Because I know with a lot of gentrification happening around, if it's a different, you know, like when I was in Puerto Rico, that's one thing I was nervous about, because I didn't want to just go to like high-end places, not get a local experience. And like, tourism is still a huge thing it helps their economy a lot, right? But I still feel guilty sometimes when I travel to certain places. And so when there are people that are so excited to share what they do and everything behind it, it gets me more excited to learn about it. Like, especially after a trip, if I learned a lot, I'm gonna be looking up a lot of stuff at home and just trying to, I don't know, learn more about the things that I saw or the people that I met. And where do I want to go next? Because I'll be going, you know, domestic around the US probably, unless Trump goes crazy again. But, well, also this for international, unless he goes crazy again. I really think I may do South Korea. It's been on my mind. I do want to explore more South America and Central America. Those are a little bit easier to get to for sure compared to going all the way to Asia. I do want to do Tokyo, but I think I'm going to do that with Tony. So I don't know when we're going to do that eventually, so I'm going to save that one. But I think South Korea could be next for my next big international trip. But we have to see, because plans always be changing, life is always changing. I'm gonna finish putting all this other stuff together, but I hope you guys enjoyed the Peru travels and adventures. I'm so excited to edit this and look at all the stuff that we did. I'm so excited to look at all of the photos and the videos and like just see all the people again through it. So I'm very excited because I love rewatching my travel videos because the experience is always just so amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Si toca brindar, se dice fácil esto, pero ha costado esfuerzo para uno más disfrutar.